a chance to perform too much in Middletown. So I think this is a rarity for me, even though I live here. Probably the first time I've done a public performance here, maybe ever. And so I'm glad that Emile invited Froc and me to come in and play in the Buttonwood tree. It's a nice environment and good to have an art situation here in Middletown that's alive and kicking and growing and experimenting, especially experimenting, because it seems like in this day and age we need more experimentation and music that is not necessarily the average every day, you know. So that's kind of what we're doing here today. If anybody's interested, I'll speak a moment about the bowls. You know, give you a little bit of a thumbs up on what they're about, at least what I think they're about. I about 15 years ago ran into the bowls and in a mysterious kind of way, it sort of changed my life. I was into meditation and yoga and also music, and I was playing on the road as a drummer. And one day I just heard a monk playing these bowls on TV, and I was like, wow, I gotta check those out. You know, he was just playing some just very mellow stuff like this. And just having a I think he was having a good time. I was. And experimenting with different tones. And I figured, how am I going to get some of these things, you know? And where am I going to find them? So I called I had a few connections down in the city, in New York, and there's one Tibetan lady down there said, yes, we have the bowls. Come down and see them. So the next day I was there, and I brought I think I brought 4 home, you know, and they're not cheap, you know. And I brought them home, and my wife told me, she looked at the bowls, and she said, what are you doing? How much money did you spend on these bowls? And I said, don't worry, honey, don't worry, you know. It's going to grow. It's going to be okay, you know. So eventually we started to, I started to collaborate with somebody else, and we went to Nepal in the Himalayan region and started to make friends over there and connections over there in terms of how to actually acquire these instruments. And not only acquire them, but actually how to figure out how to acquire the absolute highest quality of this instrument that is available. And it took quite a few years for us to make inroads. You know, it takes a long time, you know, because you're coming from another part of the world into their area, and you kind of have to you have to prove that, you know, you're for real with it. And anyway, so after 5 or 6 years, you know, we started getting into the better instruments. You know, instead of playing like, you know, the average singing bowls, we started getting into more of the Stradivarius type of singing bowls, the stuff that you don't see very often, that's kept, you know, in back rooms or, you know, through word of mouth only, like that. So what we ended up doing was producing our first album just for basically the fun of it, and as an affirmation of my partnership with this other person, Joe Texera. And we found that people liked the album and that it was selling, and we had to keep reprinting the album because it would just, you know, sell out. And with the advent of the internet, and we hit a worldwide audience at that point, and with YouTube and all that. And even one day we found out the album got bootlegged, which was kind of a shock for us because, you know, it's just a Tibetan singing bowl album. You know, it's not like Sting's latest hit is getting bootlegged or something. So we started finding it in shops, but it wasn't our CD. They repackaged it, but it was our music. You know, that was a little bit of a shock. But I was informed by the industry that that's like a brownie point, because it means that, you know, you're liked by people. So it turned out that we were trying to find these bootleggers in Nepal. And, you know, I do a lot of psychic work and astrology work, so I have a little bit of a heads up on that stuff. You know, I can get a vision in my mind, and let's go. You know, I know what they look like now. I know what their street looks like. Let's go over there and find them. So we actually did find them over there, and but they were nice. You know, that's what they do over there. They just bootleg everything. So the thing is, they were nice about it, and it was free advertising for us. So that was okay. You know, but anyway, so we started to get very deeply into the sound, not just the instrument itself, but the sound and the quality of the sound and what the sound does to you, how the sound impacts you on in a deep way, not just a shallow way. You know, what does music mean, and what's its ability to transform the consciousness, and to ask the initial question, I guess, of life, you know, is why are you here? Who are you? Where are you going? And where have you been? And what are you doing? And then after those questions are asked, who is the essence of the creature that is every one of us? And what is that really? And how does music direct you to that person? And so we found that the singing bowls have an innate ability to bypass the, if you want to call it biocomputer programming, personality, the fears, all the stuff that is kind of blocking you from being you. And we found that for some reason, these very straightforward, simple instruments they touch something inside that is usually not touched that easily. And it's fairly effortless. And the really cool thing is that anyone can play them starting right out. You don't need to practice 5 years of your piano scales, learn how to read and this and that. You can get into it right away. And this has immense value to almost anyone who walks the earth, who wants to experience music in a deep way, can do so right off the bat. And I mean, if you want to practice piano on the side and all your scales and all classical music, that's great. But for the average person who just wants to experience music for themselves and actually do something for themselves, the separation between music and the human being suddenly with these instruments no longer exists. A person does not have to say, I wish I knew how to do this, I wish I knew how to do that, or I wish there was a musician around who could play for me, or anything like that. All they have to do is pick up one of these and hit it one time and experience the levels. There's high tones, there's low tones, there's mid tones. We'll go like this. And the bowls also have a relationship. I don't know if many, you probably do. If you're in here, you probably are aware of the chakra system and the auric, the electrical system of the human, the way we're constructed, you know. And sound impacts. That's why certain musics impact for the negative, certain musics impact for the positive. And back in the 60s, they ran experiments on plants, you know, and they had, you know, some plants dying and some plants going crazy with growing with classical music, and then super hard, loud rock, they die in a day or two. So the thing is, yeah, they did all that. So, but these can really bring you into the moment. And for those that are interested in being in the moment, I find no better answer to that than practice with the singing bowls. And the whole thing with them today is these are all antiques. Some of them may be hundreds of years old. Some of them may be 50 years old. Some of them may be 1,000 years old. You really can't tell because nobody's dates the bottom. I think a drop of water is my symbol. Um, so it's a mystery. If anybody tells you that they know the exact date of a bowl or something like that, it's take it with a grain of salt. So the thing is, these are finding their way over the past 15 years or so to the West in a very big way, because I think the West really needs it, and we need what the East has to offer, and especially what the past has to offer, because what we seem to have lost the feeling of being around the campfire and doing music and the social realities where that's concerned, and also the deep metaphysical and occult significance of serious music, and because a lot of the music is simply in the entertainment realm at this point in time. So with these, we try to bypass that into more of the essence of music, and also the essence of who the person is that's listening and the person that's playing. So without further ado, I'll play a little bit for you, and you can experience some of these really cool things. Stereo. And if you like, you can just relax and settle into who you are, allow your breathing to deepen. Leave the world outside there where it belongs for a couple hours. Don't worry, it'll be there when you get back.